Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel. This is the first official post of many on a channel that I'm setting up to both chronicle my progress as a music producer under the name RabbleRouser, and I'll also be posting to this channel how-tos for the various things that I learn along the way, and I'll kind of get into what that means as we go forward in this video. A little bit about myself. I have been making music on and off since I was about 19, which is a little more than 20 years ago now. Hard to believe. The whole thing kind of sparked when my cousin and I went to New York City as a couple of 18-year-olds to see The Prodigy in concert. And we returned home, basically raring to buy every piece of gear we could get our hands on, figure out what everything did, and then make music. And we wanted to be a part of that energy that we became instantly addicted to in New York. And we wanted to be able to give people the same thing that we got at that concert, which was an energy that I really couldn't begin to describe. And so we set about purchasing some gear, the basics, did a little bit of research, amassed a small collection of hardware as well as some software. Started with Fruity Loop Studio, and we put together probably between 60 and 80 songs in about a year's time. And we actually played some shows, pretty small scale stuff, and mostly local to where we were from. And we posted some music online. A new website had just come out called mp3.com, and we uploaded probably 20 or 30 songs in all during our brief stint as musicians. And one of those songs in particular became a #1, I guess you could call it, hit on mp3.com's electronica genre for about 2 or 3 months, which I guess prompted the Idiot's Guide franchise to contact us. And so basically they were creating a book called The Idiot's Guide to MP3 Music. And they wanted us to submit a bio and basically represent electronica as a genre where MP3 music was concerned. And so we had submitted all that, and we're feeling pretty high from that experience. And, you know, it seemed like things were coming together. However, given I'm making this video, as you can obviously see, things didn't really pan out. Musically speaking, we kind of drifted in 2 different directions, and so that initial project kind of fizzled. We would eventually go on to work more together, though none of it really ever amounted to much, and that was pretty much it. And so I worked on and off with several other people since then. You know, a few songs I think was maybe the most that came out of any of those projects, leading me to basically create the persona RabbleRouser, inspired by my great-grandmother who gave me that nickname as a child. You know, I started working with a friend of mine under that name, and we created probably 5-6 songs in a very short period of time, and things seemed to be going great. Not to get into too much personal stuff, but a very close death in the family kind of put that on pause, and unfortunately never really picked back up. And so, you know, another 9-10 years goes by, and I kind of dabbled in music production here and there in that amount of time, and I actually went to school for audio engineering while living in Arizona for a couple of years. And I learned Pro Tools, which was a, you know, fairly big industry standard digital audio workstation at that time, became certified in it, and started to actually really get into recording with hardware into software. And that was kind of my first real recording experience. A lot of the stuff that I was doing prior to that was pretty much just the software. And so I put together a pretty large collection of gear, outboard effects processors, all this nonsense, to be quite honest. And over the last year or so with COVID and spending a lot of time at home, I just started looking at it all and thinking, well, what am I doing here, and what is exactly is the goal? And so I set about getting rid of most of the stuff that I had, and with the money saved up from selling off probably 75% of my gear, and some birthday money contributions, I purchased Ableton Live 10 about 2 years ago now, and have been sporadically dabbling in it since that time. And admittedly, coming from Fruity Loop Studio, have been kind of frustrated by the complexities in Ableton. And I've been watching YouTube tutorials and learning a ton. And it just, there's a combination of being overwhelmed by it all, while at the same time just realizing how amazing the software is. And so I'm, kind of going back and forth between the feeling of being overwhelmed and being inspired to realize all that this software can do. And so, long story short, I basically have enough gear now, hardware and software combined, to cover a small table, folding table. And I think I have, I've kept the things that meant the most to me over about 20 years of collecting gear. And I think I have what I need to express the music that I want to create. And so I'm happy with where I'm at. I removed all the clutter from my life as far as musical instruments are concerned. And I feel like I'm finally in a good place and in the right mindset to kind of just create and make the most of what I have. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. So as the sun is starting to peek out, I'm gonna quit rambling here and basically say that in closing, I hope you'll follow along, and that if you're an aspiring musician as I am, you'll find inspiration in my presentation of how I go about things and how I am, trying to balance a number of things in order to try and realize this dream. And I also hope that you'll find benefit in the educational videos that I intend to post, and that, through your shared frustration and my shared frustration, that we can overcome, whatever it is that holds us back. And for those of you that are not aspiring musicians that, just wish to follow along, I hope that you can relate in some way, if you have a dream that you are following, or you have something in your life that you want to do that you've been continually putting on the back burner and maybe feel like it's too late, or you don't know if you're ever going to get around to it. I'm here to tell you that as long as you're alive and you're breathing, there is always a shot. There's an opportunity every morning you wake up, and every night when you go to sleep. It could be the eve of realizing something that you never dreamed possible. And so I'm not giving up. That's why I'm here, and this is the video that I am starting this off with. I promise you they'll get better as we go, and I get a little more experience in doing this. And yeah, I look forward to sharing this all with you, and I hope you'll follow along. So again, if you're interested, shoot me a like and a subscribe, and help broaden my audience and get me on the YouTube map here, so that I can start to help people, whether it's through music, learning how to make music, or through hopefully just the residual inspiration you can get from watching somebody try to follow a dream that they've had for most of their life. So I thank you for being here, and we'll be talking to you soon. Bye-bye.